Hello and welcome to Birkenhead on the Wirral. Well, we're just outside Birkenhead really, and I am in Flaybrick Cemetery. And Flaybrick Cemetery is a really important one. The initial plans were submitted in the 1840s. The population of Birkenhead was such that a large cemetery was required. So ideas were put forward, an Act of Parliament was passed, but because of the economic depression of the 1840s, nothing really very much happened until the 1850s. And from there on, the architects drew up plans and it was opened in the 1870s, I think. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself in the notes. And there are over 100,000 people buried in this cemetery. So we're going to have a bit of a wander around, see what creative use I can make of the Olympus EM1. See you in a bit. Not completely sure how well this will show up on the GoPro footage, but the cemetery was extended to include the quarry right next door, and the quarry, stone from the quarry, was used to build very many buildings in Birkenhead itself. So that's why there's a considerable change in elevation. Probably about 50 feet below me, those graves. Not at all sure how well this is going to turn out, but I've got the 100 to 300mm Lumix telephoto zoom on the camera now, and behind the GoPro there are rows of Victorian headstones, so I want to try and give the impression of them being stacked almost one on top of the other. So using the longer length lens, if I get my words out, hopefully I can give that impression. It's just a case of, again, rather like with the ultra-wide lens, just moving slightly can make all the difference with regard to your composition. But here we go, let's see what we can get. I'm gonna have to move back. And I'm shooting over the top of the GoPro. Aperture priority. Focusing on the foreground one. I just want to have a look at that. I'm chimping. Okay, quite happy with that. So we'll move on, see what else we can capture. I'm not sure, again, how well you will be able to make this out on the video, but in front of the camera there's a rectangular area, about 20 foot square, and it's one of many public burial spaces where roughly 3,500 people were buried. I guess paupers' graves. And apparently there are 185 of these rectangular areas, and some of the burials were as deep as 25 feet underground, simply to accommodate the amount of bodies that they were having to deal with. Well, now I'm going to take a walk into the old quarry section. Not quite sure if there's a way out without retracing my steps, but we'll go and have a look and see what it's like in there. Well, behind me over there, you can hopefully see a very large war memorial for those local men who gave their lives during the Great War, 1418. And this is the quarry section. You can see over there that they've buttressed the walls. Obviously you don't want graves from up above collapsing into this area. But as you may be able to see from behind me, it goes on for hundreds of yards. I can quite easily imagine that over 100,000 people are buried here. Very, very peaceful. Lots of birdsong. Anyway, time to move on. The fully articulating screen on the Mark II version of the EM1 I'm finding particularly useful, as long as I don't try and fit the full L bracket on the camera. This view here, although it's obviously very important to the relatives, there's the grave over there with the wooden cross and the flowers, which I don't really want in the shot, so I'm going to do a low angle shot. I'm using the fold out screen and get down really low, and hopefully with the 12 to 50 lens I can get the sort of composition I'm looking for. I think that's going to give me what I'm hoping for. It's incredibly harsh lighting today, so I have to choose my subject quite carefully. No doubt including where I'm pointing the GoPro. So apologies if the exposure's up the creek. This tree behind me here has taken my eye. I'm not quite sure if I can make a composition work, but it's been lopped at the top, and basically all the branches have been trimmed right back, and yet it's still trying to stay alive. If I move the camera slightly, you'll see there's a large conifer tree in the distance behind it, which I want to keep out of the shot if I can. So I need to shoot it from roughly here. I'm standing in the shade, which is going to help me with regard to reducing flare. I guess probably low angle, because I don't want this leaf cover above me to encroach on the shot. So I'm going to get down low, round about 12mm, 24 equivalent, see what we can get. Well, I've taken it. What it's going to look like, I don't know. You'll see as soon as I do. But the good news is I don't have to retrace my steps. There's a ramp up there behind me. So we'll head back towards the main entrance and see if there's anything else that catches my eye along the way. Just giving you a hopefully slightly better view of the fact that we are in the quarry. I may end up boring people, but I just thought I'd show you the stratification of the rock in the quarry. It's Triassic sandstone, so about 250 million years old, and hopefully you can quite clearly see the different layers. Who knows? Maybe the ramp itself will make a composition with that large tree behind. We'll see. Well, yeah, I've taken 3 or 4 of this ramp, and I think, certainly looking at the screen on the camera, the best result I've got is with the 7.5 Samyang. I love the distortion, but we'll make a decision when I get back home. And you'll see it just about now, I guess. I'm just on my way out now, but I thought I'd add to the story of Flaybrick the fact that in 2004 it was granted a status of significant cemetery in Europe. So it just goes to show not only how large, I think it's about 25 acres in size, but how important it is regarded amongst cemeteries across Europe. And there we are. Time to say goodbye to Flaybrick Cemetery. Gorgeous day. Hardly a cloud in the sky. I had the little infrared GF1 with me, but I haven't used it. There's just no cloud formation, so I don't think I'd get the best out of it. If I do want to generate sort of fake infrared, I can do that in post if I so wish. But for now, from me, at Flaybrick Cemetery, I'll say continue to enjoy your photography, and I will see you all very soon for yet another enthralling video. Bye for now.